Hey guys, this is Lana, and I'm sitting in my garden right now, which I'm actually on the back patio, but I'm looking at my garden. And gardening is actually one of the many things that I enjoy spending my time doing. I've actually only been a gardener for I guess this is my third year. About 5 years ago, I had decided that I was going to spend a large portion of my time educating myself. Not about any one topic in particular. I just wanted to learn. Just learn as much information as I could, but not just any information. I really wanted to learn things that would grow me as a human being, that would make me a better person, that would help me understand the world better, understand people better, understand how to make the world a better place, and to live a happier life, to live a healthier life, to live a more fulfilled life, so that I could take that out and into the real world and show other people how to do the same. Gardening is actually stemmed from that because originally it was because of health issues. You know, I really had a passion for health, for helping people to become healthy. And I firmly believe that the first step in doing that is to maintain the correct diet. I fully feel like, your food is your medicine. And if you want to have the best health that you can possibly have, then the way to go about doing that is to eat the right kind of foods, which I believe is, whole, organic foods, rather than processed foods and such. Well, from that, I really felt like in order to truly be in control of what I'm putting in my body, what I'm eating, what is on the food I'm eating, what's in the food I'm eating, then I was going to have to learn how to garden. I was going to have to learn how to grow it myself. So I just set out to do that. Not knowing a thing about gardening, I just began to educate myself. And like I said, that was just one of the things that I was learning when I, had this new commitment to just learn and just fill my head with knowledge. I have to say, in the last 3 years, I've gotten so much more out of gardening than I had bargained for. It hasn't just helped me know how to eat right and how to produce food that is good for my body and has healing properties, but I've really learned things about life in general from gardening. Believe it or not, there are so many principles that you learn when gardening. And I suppose some people may not learn them. Some people may decide to get into gardening and really, I guess you can choose to learn things. If you're looking for the lessons in everything you do, there's always something to learn. So I just wanted to share with you guys 5 life lessons I have learned from gardening. And whether you're a gardener or not, these are principles that you can apply to your life, to your business, to your relationships, whatever it is. So I'm actually going to go over here to talk. So the first lesson that I've learned from gardening is that it takes work to achieve a goal. Now that may seem like, duh, but you'd be surprised how many people don't understand that concept. You don't get something for nothing. It takes work to achieve a goal. You reap what you sow. No pun intended, because I'm sitting in a garden. The second lesson that I have learned from gardening is that it's process of elimination. This is life. It is process of elimination. You educate yourself, which is very important. You educate yourself on how to do something. But not all the advice that you read is going to be great advice. And maybe it's good advice for some people, but we're all different people with different circumstances and different lives and different pasts. And so what works for one person is not going to work for another. Just like with gardening, a person who grows something in Maine is not necessarily going to be able to grow the same things in Texas, where I'm at. We have different climates, okay? So different things are going to grow in different types of soil, different climates. So you really, just because you learn something when you're educating yourself doesn't mean it's necessarily going to work real great for where you're at. It is process of elimination. So you try something, you go at it and you act. But if for some reason the way you're doing it doesn't work out as planned, you back up, you go at it from a different direction. You don't give up, you just try something new. Okay, that's life. That's what I've learned in my garden. I just try something new. Several times I planted seeds and they didn't grow. And I thought, what am I doing wrong? And I realized I was leaving them in direct sunlight for too long. So I had to adjust and try it again. Sometimes I wasn't watering them enough, or I was watering them too much. Fact of the matter is, until you just try, you're not going to learn. You have to try something, and then you realize, okay, well, it's not working with what I'm doing. So obviously I need to do something different. And there are tons of people in life who don't understand that if something isn't working, you don't keep doing it the same way you've always done. You know that quote, if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. It's just how it is. If you don't like your current circumstances, you don't like your job, you don't like the way your relationship is, you don't like, the way your kids act, whatever it is, if it's not working the way you want it to work, quit doing things the way you're doing them, okay? Back up, readjust, and go at it from a different angle, okay? The third thing that I've learned from gardening is that when you're pursuing a goal, when you are going for something, there will be challenges. It may be small challenges. You may have those insects that just pick away at your plants, your goal, and they're just an annoyance, right? You're like, I'm working really hard to do this. Why are you working against me, bugs? Why are you eating my plants? Okay, but that's life, right? You're gonna have people that come into your life that just nitpick and nag and talk crap about your goal and talk and mock you and think that you're stupid and tell you, no, you can't plant this garden, right? You can't do this. This goal is stupid. You really think that you're gonna have this? No way. You're gonna have those people. Those are little challenges. And then there's big challenges, which don't always happen to everyone. But in my garden, we had a bad storm blow through here. And so this is where our garden begins. We planted almost everything from seed. We had a couple of things, a couple of herbs that we didn't plant from seed, but everything else we planted from seed. We grew everything organically, using organic practices, no pesticides, no chemicals. Used all natural methods to get rid of bugs, unwanted bugs, to get rid of funguses and plant diseases and things like that. But we really enjoyed spending our time out here. Planted some flowers to attract butterflies, which we did have a lot of. We enjoyed the ladybugs. They ate the aphids and took care of the plants. My children really, really loved the garden. They loved being out there. They loved helping me. And we had everything from tomatoes to cucumbers, cantaloupe, green beans, eggplant. We have sunflower seeds there. We had kale and jalapenos and bell peppers. We had a lot of different things. My okra plants, of course, you see there, they were very, very tall, grew very tall. We have the green beans on the green bean teepee. And man, we just enjoyed it out there. It was a really, really pleasant place to be, very peaceful, and just a great experience, not just for me, but for my children, learning how to grow things from seed. And you're about to see here how a horrible storm came through and just ravaged it. Just destroyed the place. Broke off a lot of my plants. There's my okra, just broke it off. And we had a lot of cleanup. It was sad, but I got over it. It was alright. We're starting anew. It's me cleaning up. So, this is what it looks like right now. The green bean teepee is has been cleared off. I did that yesterday. And this garden bed is not looking too bad. But these over here, they were full, and now they're mostly empty. My cabbage is growing there, and they're actually looking really good. And our kids' sandbox was full of water, and their little cover blew down. So we gotta fix that. That's what happened to my garden, right? And you know, I could have freaked out, which I've done in the past. You know, I've done that in the past. I've just screamed and kicked things and gotten pissed off at my dog when he trampled a plant, you know. But this time around, you know, I've learned that there's no sense in that. There's no sense in freaking out, you know. A storm blew through. Okay, it took half of my garden. Okay, do I still want the garden? Yes, I do still want the garden. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna rebuild. I'm gonna rebuild. I'm not gonna let that discourage me enough that I quit. The fourth thing is that endurance pays off. It really, really does. Endurance. Now some people may say, no, that's not true. There's people who do things for a long time and they don't ever see any results. Well, how long do they do it? Are you talking about people who do something for a couple of years and they think, God, I've been doing this for 2 years and I haven't seen any result, like nothing is working, I give up. That's not endurance, okay? Endurance is people who have struggled and struggled and struggled and struggled, and they've been knocked down and knocked down and knocked down and knocked down, and for 10 years have dealt with challenges to build something, to achieve a goal, and they didn't give up until they achieved it. That is endurance, okay? And let me tell you why endurance pays off. And this is just for me, but this right here is an organic eggplant. See it? And I've got another one over here, smaller, right here. You can see it. And there's another one over there on that plant. And it took a long time for these to produce. And these are actually not the first. I've had one other from my middle plant over here. It was about a month ago, I guess. But endurance pays off. If I would have gotten aggravated with these plants not producing when they were supposed to, and just came over here and just knocked them down and thought, this is stupid, they're just taking up room, I'll plant something else. But instead, I was patient and I endured struggles. I endured, you know, numerous things getting messed up in the garden. I endured caterpillars and aphids coming into my garden and wreaking havoc on some of my plants sometimes and having to figure out what to do to get rid of them. I endured the storm blowing through here and taking half of my garden. You know, I'm not quitting. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. You know why? Because I love it. I love it. I love having this. And so I'm enduring. So endurance pays off. And this is the fifth thing I've learned from having a garden. When you experience the fruits of your labor, okay, it feels amazing. It feels amazing when you're able to walk into your garden and pick a vegetable or a fruit from a plant that you grew from a little tiny seed. That feeling is amazing. Like, just the thoughts that go through my head are incredible. You know, I think I planted that from a little tiny seed in the soil, and I just took care of it, and I put the right nutrients in to the soil, and it got the right amount of light, and I watered it the right amount, right? And of course, the only way you know how to do all those things is by educating yourself, and process of elimination, which were the first 2 life lessons, right? You know, when you're trying to achieve any goal, or whether it be, maybe it's a business, you know, you have to put the right things into it. And if those things aren't working, you try something else and you put something else into it until you see the fruits of your labor. And it's an amazing feeling when you are able to pick that, when you finally reap what you sow, and what you're reaping is just, it's such an amazing feeling to finally go, everything I've endured and all the patience that I've had to have through all of this, it's worth it. It's worth it. You know, and some of you may not be into gardening. Some of you may be thinking, but I'm not a gardener. It doesn't matter. It's what this represents. This represents freedom. Because you see, there's only 3% of the population that achieves that greatness, that sees a huge goal and just goes for it and lives that abundant life, that lives the life that they truly want to live. 3% of people, did you know that? 3% live the life that they truly want to live. Most people live in mediocrity. Most people are not satisfied with where their lives are at. They're not, okay? They want more. And the problem is, most of them don't ever live past that because of fear or laziness or whatever, placing the blame on other people, whatever. They don't pursue their goal. But let me tell you, when you do reach that point, when you pursue that goal and you experience the fruits of your labor, that feeling is amazing. That feeling of freedom, that you accomplished something, right? That you accomplished that you've got that now because of all that hard work. Man, you appreciate it. Man, you appreciate, like, it's amazing how when you have your own garden, you don't waste food like you do when you go to the grocery store. You don't. You know why? Because you appreciate it so much more. Because you worked your ass off to get it. You worked your ass off to get it. Isn't that life, right, guys? Isn't that life? You don't appreciate things as much when they're just given to you. You don't appreciate things as much when you can just walk into a place and just pick it off a shelf. You appreciate it when you work hard for something. When you put blood, sweat, and tears into something and you achieve a goal. Man, it feels awesome. Man, it feels awesome, guys. Just the experience of being out here and growing things, of having been the one to plant that seed and watch it grow and watch it flourish and see what the end result is. You know, that has taught me so much. You know, I take those principles and I apply them to other areas of my life, whether it be a relationship, you know, whether it be my marriage or my relationship with family members, my business. You know, those principles, when applied, they work. They make a difference, guys. So don't give up on your goals. Don't give up on your dreams, all right? No matter what anyone says, endurance pays off. Trust me. So you guys like the video, share it with your friends, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And we'll see you guys on the next video.